So should there be some issue with your internet or something just kind of glitches separately after everyone logs off, it kind of like pulls everyone's audio together. So that way our audio folks on the back end can splice things together. So if something does kind of rough up while you're doing your talk, it's okay because things record locally and then they upload through the cloud through some magic way that I don't understand. But that's why we use this platform. We do get the best audio out of it as opposed to like a regular Zoom or something like that.
And the other thing too is this isn't going to be live. So
Exactly.
obviously if you want to change anything, if you start saying something and you're like, I wish I could say that differently, you're welcome to do that. We can edit it anyway, so it's not a problem. Yeah.
So usually it's just give us like 1 or 2 seconds to say redo, and then wait a little bit. It makes it easier to splice.
Yeah, we'll remind you that the morning of as well. So I guess, do either of you have any questions? Certainly, I think, even if you just want to introduce yourself to each other, I think that can be helpful too.
Mel, do you want to go first?
Sure. I have been on dialysis more of my life than not, sadly. I started when I was 17, on my 17th birthday. I'm now 46, so you guys can do the math. And I love working with organizations that provide education and awareness and stuff like that. I got involved with the NKF like right away with just the kidney walks, and then I go to DC every year. My whole channel on TikTok is based around like I do my treatments on live to show people because I live by myself. So I do solo home hemodialysis. Like I work full time. I have a life. Dialysis is not my life. It's just a part of it. And one of the big things that I struggled with was phosphorus. So of course, this coming into my email, I was like, yes, absolutely, please. I have a broken thumb right now because of phosphorus. Like over the years where I wasn't taking it seriously at first, now I am, but the damage was already done, So anytime that I have an opportunity to talk to people about things that they can change to either prevent from going on dialysis in the first place or to extend their life as long as possible on dialysis by doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, I definitely take that opportunity. I've done all of the things when it comes related to phosphorus. I had my parathyroids out. I've been on every single medication, even ones that they've taken off the market. And I finally found a combination, which is another thing that I like talking about, is that they're not all one size fits all. Like not every patient tolerates the medications the same. And I was one of those people. However, being young and not really being educated in a lot of the stuff, I didn't know to ask questions. I didn't know to say, hey, like maybe this isn't working. Can we try something else? So it became a huge part of like just my journey to tell people like there are other medications for phosphorus on the market, and there are ways to look up, especially with the technology that we have now, like what is in something. And it's not to say that you have to restrict everything in your life and eat a completely bland, boring diet to where you hate everything. Because I did that the first few years, and I was a raging bee, and I hated my life. And now I incorporate things where, like, I'll talk to other dialysis patients, and they'll be like, "What? You had pizza last week?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have pizza like once a month." Like, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, but what is your phosphorus?" And I'm like, 4.5. Like, because if you take your binders and you do it in moderation, it's okay. Like you just can't do it all the time. And the important part is taking your binders or finding the right combination of binders that are going to work for you. Because the thing with me in particular was that I had a gastric lap band at one point, and most people they're just put right on like Foslo or Renvela or something. I started having to do my own research. The mechanism of action of those medications are that they swell up to absorb the phosphorus. Well, with me having a lap band and my stomach being like this big, it's pushing the food out, like, and the binder. So it's not working. For years, I just kept stuffing 8 of these meds down my throat every time I'm eating, and they were not working. And people were acting like I wasn't taking my meds. And so finally, I started researching and found Velphoro. Well, you can grind that up and it's a powder, or you chew it up. And so that absorbs it versus like swelling to block the phosphorus. So, yeah, trial and error. And I'm like, look at me, like learn from my mistakes and, be a little more proactive in your own care. Ask questions because that's what doctors are supposed to be there for. You're supposed to be a give and take. You can ask questions. Do some research. Actually, read the pamphlets that come with your medications. You might not understand it, but we have Google for that. So, yeah, right now I'm actually working on what is it called? A petition to require the FDA to put phosphorus on the labels because that is the biggest problem for most of us. Who has time to walk through the grocery store? It's already frustrating to go shopping when you don't have money. Like, so then to sit there and have to read everything to be like, okay, well, I wonder how much phosphorus is in this. And most of us are all eating on a budget. We're not supposed to have packaged and prepared foods, but we have to a lot of times because if you're on food stamps or you just don't have the income coming in that you once did before dialysis, like you're having to rely on food banks or you're having to rely on packaged and prepared stuff that is cheaper. So being able to make better decisions and requiring our government to actually assist us in that by putting that on our labels when phosphorus isn't even good for healthy people. Like truly it's not. It's very hard for your kidneys to process even for a healthy person. So why do we not have that? We have every other stupid thing on the sides of the labels except for phosphorus, which is literally killing dialysis patients. So and that's basically it for me. I mean, I've had a transplant and that's its own set of struggles. And now I'm waiting again. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting, the least that I can do is to try and help educate and spread awareness and support other people that are going through this and do it from, like a patient level. Like I've been there. I get it. It's a struggle. It's hard, but you can do it.
Do you mind if I ask real quick? Have
Sure.
you taken Exposa?
I am on Exposa, yes.
And that's not a requirement at all. It's just helpful to know.
Nope, I'm on that. As of, I think maybe about 6 months ago, because I was apprehensive in the beginning. Like, I heard all the side effects of it, and I have a very active job, and so, like, the first couple of weeks of taking it, I'll be honest, I didn't take it on the schedule that I was supposed to. They started me with doing one a day because of the severity of the symptoms that can come along with it. And then I slowly progressed into the 2 a day, and now it's much more manageable. I personally look at it as Exposa specifically. It makes me think of it's more of a behavioral modification tool. Because I noticed, obviously, if I take it and I eat meals with a lot more phosphorus in it, I have more of those symptoms. So I am more training myself to not eat those things because I don't want to have those GI symptoms. So it's very interesting. But yes, I'm on Exposa and I do the Velphoro. But like I said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep my phosphorus down because I want to be able to get another transplant. And calciphylaxis is not a joke. And a lot of people don't take it as seriously as it should be because they don't realize that eliminates you from transplant. Like, because it looks like, number one, you're non-compliant, and number two, they can't cut into vessels that are hardened. Like, they're going to burst, and it puts you at a higher risk of not being able to make those connections so that you can have a viable transplant. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mel, I think you touched on like so many important parts that like the symptoms, the different options, and like what works best for you, and communicating with your team, and integrating it into your life, and just and the transplant part of it. I think there's that all of that was incredible, and I think certainly that can benefit so many people to hear from you who've had all that experience already.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to the episode. I mean, that was great. We should have recorded that.
You know how many times it's happened during the like prep trip? We're like, we should have recorded that. That was great. We'll just have to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it again when I'm all more put together.